What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Tenpai going up against Branded on the right. This is a little bit of a zoomed in. I have fixed the camera since, which I guess the next week was the regionals, which was the other day. I guess you guys should see the deck profiles that we are uploading. I was playing Branded for that. I guess I should say I'm recording Friday. The regionals is tomorrow. Both of us are probably playing the exact deck that we are going to be playing at the regionals here. Usman, shout out to Usman on the left side here with the Tenpai. But we are choosing to go first with Branded. A lot of the times, you'll see the Tenpai player make the opponent go first. In this case, with the Branded, I would assume that they won't do that because of the fact that, Getting Puppet is such a high, powerful card they can just, lose to immediately. Therefore, choosing not to play that. We're going to be seeing the Aluber here for the copy of Branded Fusion and that beautiful ultimate rarity, and they're going to add for the effect, which I just found out the other day that Branded Fusion is getting a QCR as well, which is super nice. We're going to go for the regular line here with the Albion being hit with a copy of the Veiler here, which is quite nice. We still have the Blue Albion, we can tag out with the copy of Albion, putting it in the graveyard, and we do have the copy of Cartesia, going to be a nice extender because of the fact that we have Albaz in the graveyard still with the Albion not banishing it. We can special summon it out, which is quite nice for us, being able to still play through this. And we still have Lost on the field with that copy of Albion there, or with the copy of the Rebellion placing the Albion. And we can still fuse to search, even potentially going for an Albion on that search of the Lost. But we're going to be activating the Cartesia using the Albion, the Aluber in itself, to go into that copy of Granganol. And then we're going to be able to search for the Albion here. And we do see a dumping of the Gaming Puppet with that copy of Grand Giganol. We're then going to add for the effect of the Albion, setting a copy of Retribution here to then draw an additional card, which we do draw into a copy of... I didn't quite get to see it. But then we are also going to... fun fact, we're going to go to the end phase and set Branded in red with that copy of Albion here. But fun fact, with the Retribution, you don't actually always want to set it, especially in the Tenpai matchup, because of the fact that your opponent is on Forbidden Droplet. Therefore, if you do try to play around like the Albion or the Sanctifier here, trying to get hit with that copy of the Forbidden Droplets here, but we are under loss, therefore we can actually kind of protect that because they can't respond to it. I'm going to give them the Giving Puppet here and then summon out the copy of the Aluber, which can then activate effects to search. There is another option that you maybe want to just leave Cartesia in the graveyard as well here for the Sanctifier Reborn. If you want to go for like a second copy of Granganol, sending that and be able to search as well if you have like maybe a copy of Bell or something like that. I guess Bell wouldn't really matter because it just Bell the Branded in red, therefore Sanctifier couldn't reborn it. But like just different options, you don't always want to really use those cards. There is lines where you want to leave Cartesia in the graveyard, but it does not have to activate. Some people still think that it does have to add back to the hand, but that is Ecclesia the Virtuous, which has to add back. Fun fact. But we are going to be seeing the opponent think here, and there's not much they can do versus the Gaming Puppet. I think we also see another copy of Veiler in the hand being drawn there. But they do have a Raigeki to destroy the board, and there's no opening in the graveyard to protect us. And we're like, oh, okay. And this was a little bit of a tech they were testing out. They're not playing it at regionals. Instead, they are playing the copy of Fenrir. So if I guess you guys want to see that in the deck, it could potentially be, Usman could have topped here. We do see a normal summon of Pedra, which can get its effects to search for the quick play spell, which can then activate during our battle phase when set. But we are going to be attacking there with the Pydra, dealing some damage, and then we get to go Prosperity here in the main phase 2 to kind of dig for another card that we kind of need to see. Anything really would help. And there's not really much. We want to see, I would assume, non-engine because we're going to be seeing left. We have Ash, so we can just choose another Veiler because we are going to be having to go into that copy of some kind of fusion or even the Cartesia. Therefore, definitely helps out quite a bit. we're going to be setting 2 cards here and passing, leaving those 2 cards left in hand, which I believe is a Veiler and another copy of a Veiler, but or maybe even an Ash Blossom there, because I would have added Ash. We do have the Retribution, which can add back the Branded in Red or the Ash or the Branded Fusion. But we do have the Ash for the Branded Fusion, and we're like, oh no, you know. But we do have a normal summon of an Albaz activating its effects here, which we are discarding a copy of the Fusion deployment. And then they do chain the Veiler to that. We have the Cartesia special summon out in the hand as well. You know, we did see the Cartesia being added back. And then we're going to be activating the effect to fuse. They do change Forbidden Droplets, getting rid of a copy of the Giving Puppet there to and negate the effects of Cartesia. We then add back the Branded in Red with Retribution. And then we are going to be activating the effect of Branded in Red, targeting the Aluber here, and then it's going to let us go into a copy of potentially a Guardian Chimera. Now, if we go for Guardian Chimera, they can't actually chain the spell. We'll be able to pop both of those cards and then draw one. But it's not going to get us very far because the Guardian Chimera cannot attack directly. So we're kind of forced to go into a Lubellion instead, which can then discard and discarding an Albaz as well here. Okay, kind of nice to see. We search for an Albion, getting that additional draw once again. We put back the Albaz, and I'm not even sure what we put back here. You get another Lubellion to go for the copy of Mirror Jade. Then we're going to activate the effect, sending a copy of High Spirit, just so that we can add it back. We also get a draw. We want to start getting the resources, especially if we're going to start going like looping Lubellion, which we can do in this matchup. You know, we already are in kind of a sort of grind game. We lost our Sanctifier, so it's kind of important for us to see. And we're not chances are we're not going to be seeing Sanctifier being bought back from the graveyard there, but we're going to be seeing the banish of the Pydra. And then we're going to attempt to activate the effect, or enter battle phase and attack with the copy there. But they do summon out Chandra. We probably should not have attacked. I always forget what these cards do, which one does it. But we attack anyways for kind of zero reason other than like to waste a body. Phaedra can't bring anything back, but the Phaedra makes so they can't be destroyed by battle, I believe. I always get them confused. I know Pedra is the damage. That's the only one I know. And Search is for the spell. I know what they do. I just don't know their secondary effects. They make them can't be destroyed by battle and stuff like that, and no damage and shit. But Titanic Clad will be able to summon back out Quem during the end phase here, which Quem can then bring back out in the and I guess whatever phase we get to activate the Cartesia, which can bring back out Sanctifier, and then we can start playing. But we're going to be seeing Quem going to be dumping that copy of Branded Opening, saying, okay, if we get hit with a copy of the good old fashion, whatever his name is, Raigeki that he's playing, we won't get hit. So let me add back with High Spirits as well, and we pass turn on that. So we have a few options here, you know, Cartesia being an amazing card that can bring back out. We also have Mirror Jade that can be brought with the Quem, but they're going to think here. And we do have to kind of like lay through our options. We're going to Cartesia. Using the Mirror Jade alongside a copy of Quem to go for a Quertus. And then we're going to be seeing the Lost as well as Quem going to be able to activate its effects. And we can bring back out the Sanctifier here, then we can lock our opponent once again if we wanted to. And we're thinking if we want to chain Quertus here, we're going to be going into the copy of Sanctifier. And then we are going to search for a Albion once again, trying to get that additional draw. Like, it's so huge being able to get significant draws. And we also have High Spirits in the hand as well. So we can actually discard that if we want to have the body on the field. And then we're going to be going for the Sanctifier, putting the Mirror Jade on the field, and then a Gimmick Puppet. You know, just being able to bring back out Gimmick Puppet as well as Mirror Jade is insane. You definitely don't need to bring it back with Quem at all. But we're going to be sending a copy of Rinbrum to get rid of that copy of the Chandra here. And that's now 2 cards we have banished out of there. I believe it's 6. Now, some people might be like, oh, well, you should get rid of Phaedra because of the fact that, you know, it is. Now, listen. There's only 3 Chandras in the deck, and those are the only tuners they have. If we get rid of those tuners, we're doing quite good, especially if they have the Phaedra on the field. It doesn't really do very much for them at all, so we're going to be seeing them go battle phase, attack into the Cartesia. The Quem here. The Quem's going to die just because. I guess we should have probably done Queritus there so it didn't die. You know, 0 attacking to a 0 defense doesn't do anything, but we don't really care about the Quem going to the graveyard. We're going to activate Cartesia. They chain the Veiler. Or we're gonna go Queritus. They chain the Veiler. We then chain a copy of Cartesia. You know, they thought, okay, well, they're just gonna try to go battle phase and crash into my stuff, but we do this chain the Cartesia, going into the copy of Granganol, making everything become 0, and then they just scoop it up, realizing they have just lost. Yeah, it definitely makes sense there. You do the Queritus kind of debate out anything. You know, chances are you're not winning that turn if they have anything anyways. But they have nothing, so they can't really win. So that's kind of why, like, the matchup is really good for the branded strategy. And being able to Gimmick Puppet, and like even if you go into a grind game, chances are you're going to be winning it because of the fact that, you know, your grind game is so strong once you have an established board. And like if Tenpai can't kill you, the game's essentially over if you have a grind game like Branded does, where it's just like a continuous loop of just being able to add back stuff, just so free. But diving on to game 2 here, the Branded player has a few options. So going first or second in this matchup, you kind of slide into the same things. I'm playing Albalentis in the side, therefore it's going to be put into the deck. We're going to be seeing cards like Gimmick Puppet still stay in the deck. You can cut that onto Branded and Red if you want to. It's not going to be the most problematic like card if you draw multiple of it. But the thing is against this deck is that sometimes they make you go first once again, which I believe we are going to be seeing here. They're going to be making us go first, which is just not really safe because if we just Gimmick Puppet them, then they are going to be kind of in trouble. But it is what it is. Sometimes you have to bank on them making you go first, which is really weird because a lot of your going first and going second cards are kind of the same versus Tenpai there. But if they don't feel like their side deck cards are powerful enough, they're like, if Fenrir is not going to do anything, right? You know, Seals, Fenrir, D-Barrier, it will FTK us. But the really card that's FTKing us is D-Barrier there, which, you know, you have to kind of hard draw, unfortunately. Especially with like the knowing our build does not play any hand traps, you can't thrust into it. But we do go for a copy of Fusion Deployment, going into that copy of Cartesia. Branded Fusion here, and we're going to be going in a basic combo once again. We do have the Tragedy in the hand this time, so we can actually banish it to go for that copy of Lubellion, getting an additional kind of search. And we have the Albaz in the hand as well. Therefore, we can actually discard that off the Lubellion. Essentially searching for free here with the copy of Branded in Red. You know, having the Albaz as a discard makes it so our combo goes essentially significantly smoother, not having to dump multiple cards. It's like the big YouTube combo if you guys wish. But we're going to go for Lubellion here, off that copy of the Albion, being able to tag out, putting that copy of Lost. Then we can go Cartesia, and some people are like, oh, well, you just lost your material. We get to have an additional search, which is going to be the copy of Mercurier here. Kind of a bit of a nice card, especially if they hard open a copy of Bestial in the draw phase. Could hurt us quite a bit, so quite nice. And if you already had the Mercurier in the hand, or you just don't really worry about it, you can search for an Albion to get another card advantage, which is quite nice in any matchup. So we're going to go for the Granganol, dumping a copy of Gimmick Puppet, and we do have the Allure that we have not normal summoned yet. That was the card we searched off Tragedy. You could search a Quem as well if you wanted for another bigger combo, but that's going to let us search for a copy of Branded Opening, which can then let us have access to that copy of Quem. So now we have both lines to go for, which is quite nice. But you have to be careful of your zoning, because if you don't play correctly, you will run out of the zones for Sanctifier here. But we're going to go here for the Quem, dump the copy of Retribution. So once again, not really wanting to set it, which can be kind of incorrect if we are trying to play around multiple hand traps. But we didn't see any hand traps from our opponent there, which means that they most likely are on some heavier board breakers, or just opening up multiple copies of Engine. So we're going to be saying, do you have anything here? They go, no. We see a Prosperity in the hand as well. A little bit of a sneak peek. We go then the Branded in red to go into a copy of Sanctifier. And once again here, we're going to be seeing a Gimmick Puppet situation. A very fun, interactive Yu-Gi-Oh! We're going to be seeing the copy of the Cartesia being summoned here, and the Gimmick Puppet there, which is once again another reason why you don't always want to bring back that Cartesia to the hand here. They do still have a copy of Pot of Prosperity, which they can activate, trying to dig for maybe a copy of Raigeki that we saw. We do have the opening in the hand, so, chaining that copy of Cartesia, maybe using that Aluber and the Cartesia to go into a copy of the Quertus, and then protecting our board with that copy of opening in the graveyard, such as just leaving that Quem to leave the field would kind of guarantee us a victory, unless they want to maybe set or add a copy of Chandra here if they already have it. We do see a Sangan summoning in the hand, or Sangan Kaiman in the hand there, so going to be able to kind of play during our battle phase to guarantee that we don't have game. But choosing a Mourner here, which is interesting as well. We did see them kind of think about adding that Sangan summoning, or the Sangan Kaiman there, making us kind of like a bluff that they don't have it in the hand, which we already see in the hand, which is kind of funny. But we're going to be seeing the field spell being activated there, and they're going to be summoning out the copy of Chandra, setting one and passing. We then go end phase, activate Mirror Jade, sending, and we send a copy of Rinbrum, I'm going to believe here, to banish that Chandra. One down, two more to go. And then we just pass turn on this. We're going to turn the copy of Mirror Jade into attack position here, turn the Quem, as well as the copy of the Cartesia. We're then going to act for the Cartesia effect. I don't know why we switch everything to attack position, but we're going to go for a copy of the Masquerade here, Aluber being a Despia monster. So now if they want to activate anything, they are going to be paying life points. We also get to search off that copy of Lost. And Quem's going to bring back out the copy of Cartesia. We're going to be searching for a Albaz here, which is interesting. We're going to go battle phase, attack into that copy of Gimmick Puppet. They're going to chain the Kaiman here, and we do have that copy of McCourier in the hand as well, so we can just negate. They're going to take 6, and then they're going to activate the effects. We do chain the copy of McCourier there, but it is damage step, so they can't. But they're going to do it, and they're thinking on the position. It doesn't really matter for us. This is a locals, and it is to regional testing. So you want to get the most practice and the good practices possible for both players. You want to be able to make sure you learn from your mistakes, as well as, like in our case, we want to be able to play against the best strategy. They do put it in attack position, but I think is probably incorrect. They can't be destroyed by battle, but they don't. They do take battle damage because they don't have the copy of Pedra on the field. But I would like to mention that they do have one more Chandra on the field, which kind of means, banish time. But they're going to go for a Black Rose here, and this is going to kind of wipe the field. But we have the copy of the McCourier to negate that, and they just admit defeat here, knowing that's going to be too much. We also have the opening to protect our field as well, so kind of rough, but it is what it is. With us and them not opening up any hand traps, it is kind of like the branded strategy. If they don't open up anything, you absolutely just win the game if you open up playable, which we did see here. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see any of the Boral Furious or the copy of Albalentis, but it is in the deck. Hopefully I'll have some regionals. I don't think we can record at the venue this time, so I won't be able to have any duels for you guys. But duels will be featuring once again at locals the following week. This is some of the older stuff for the regional prep. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. To stay safe, peace.